In order to be ambitious, you need to drop the idea of ambition. In order to be confident, you need to drop the idea of confidence. Stop labeling yourself with these things. You need to get out of your own way in order to do this. Whenever I start to put pressure on myself, I procrastinate, I go into these ruts, I go into these horrible places in my mind, and I can't take action. I can't do these videos, I can't go to the gym, I can't face people. And where's that coming from? And it's from these labels. It's my ego creating this gap that I feel like I have to fulfill. I have to reach to. And then my brain makes this calculation of, I don't think I can do it. It seems like a lot of effort. I can't live up to that standard that other people may be projecting onto me, maybe, to accept me. That's it. Like I want to be accepted, so I have to live up to this standard to be accepted. So it's easier just to not do anything. It won't be good enough. I'm not feeling myself right now, so I'm not going to make a YouTube video. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to go to boxing. I'm not going to go speak to my friends or see anybody because it won't be good enough. So I'm doing that efficiency calculation in my mind. The easiest thing to do is to save energy and just hide and isolate. So these mental projections we're putting on ourselves is what hinders us. It's our ego that gets in the way. And the ego is there to protect you from fear. But it's an illusion. It just pushes the fear further into the future. So it's our attachment to these hypotheticals that cause us to isolate, to not want to do the things that we know we should be doing. And it's all from protection. And that's what procrastination is. Because we have these illusionary standards we think we need to live up to in order for it to be acceptable. If we don't do that, then we're kind of afraid of this. It's the anticipation of not reaching that goal that gives us this feeling of emptiness. And it's not even that feeling, it's the anticipation of that feeling. What if I go to the gym and I can't lift anything? What if I go to boxing, I get beat up? Or I'm judged by my coach? Or I'm judged by the receptionist? I can't live up to that standard. Just this sort of amalgamous feeling in the background will cause us to procrastinate and isolate and hide. And that's why we procrastinate. So you can ask yourself, what is it really I'm afraid of? The act itself probably isn't that bad. When I put off making these videos, it's because I'm projecting some sort of standard that I think some kind of outcome, maybe no one's going to watch it. Then I'll feel like I'm worthless, like nobody cares about me. It triggers this shame. But it's all ego. Because beyond that, I know that that's not true. I know that that's not real. It doesn't matter if anyone watches this or nobody watches this. And that's where we get into the idea of ego creating this need for outcome to validate ourselves in this world. And the key is to let go of that. Once you start letting go of that, you start to live. You start to be in the world. You start to actually enjoy the world. There's no blockage to being in the world. There's no hindrance. You apply for more jobs. You ask for a raise. You can confront people. You're just not held back. You connect with people. There's no fear. There's no invisible barrier between you and other people. This kind of battle that everybody's doing when they speak to each other of like looking cool or looking knowledgeable or looking wise. Everybody's doing it. So you dissolve it at the core. You go to the core. You go to the very reason why. And that takes practice. It takes practice to spot that. And it's very subtle. Can be just like a sense, like a sensation in the solar plexus of tension, kind of directing us when we become unconscious. And we're just trying to live to not expose that feeling, to not go to that feeling. But the more that you do that, the more that you have the courage to just sit there and be with that feeling, the less you procrastinate, the more that you are open to the world, because you realize, you give yourself evidence that it's not that bad and you can handle it and you can face things. And that's why we procrastinate. And it's very subtle. It's so subtle. But all of these identities and this ego and this attachment, this clinging for it to go well, to have ambitions, to have goals, to have these standards that you have to live up to. You're none of this. None of this is you. Even when you reach it and you're getting all of this praise online, and I get millions of views on this video. The next time I'm thinking, if that's the goal, if my ego is attached to that, if that becomes the goal, it'll be very difficult for me to keep making videos. Because I'm becoming motivated by that outcome. That outcome then defines me. So if I don't get that, I feel worthless. It triggers shame. And then it becomes very difficult to make videos. It becomes very difficult to show up. And everybody's doing this. As in the Bible, what Jesus said is, you're building your house on sand. You're building your house on shaky foundations. You're building your identity. You're putting your identity out there, which is in a flux state. You cannot control that. All of that outcome. So the key then is, again, to realize that. That's the key. That's it. Realize that. You just notice that. You notice the agenda that you have. You notice that, why am I uncomfortable about, like, making this video? Just setting up the tripod, opening my laptop. My mind is somewhere else. It's saying, we could be doing something else. This isn't efficient. What if this doesn't work? What if nobody watches this? What if I get criticism? And it isn't really that thought. It's not even thoughts. It's there's a general feeling that I'm not addressing. So then letting go is the key. Letting go is realizing that, yeah, maybe I do have an agenda. Maybe there is some kind of perfectionism that I'm trying to achieve. And if I don't reach that, it's not good enough. So notice, then I won't do it. So you've got to flip that and realize that there is no outcome. There is no expectation. I don't plan these videos now. I just enjoy talking. That's the goal. To make the video is the goal. There is no standard. Maybe I repeat myself. Maybe I contradict myself. Maybe I don't know what to say. All of that fear in the background is what's stopping me from doing this. But if I take the pressure off, I can do a video easily. I can just keep talking for hours. And it's wonderful. But it's the same with meeting people. It's the same with going to the gym. These expectations and these limitations you're putting on yourself is what's stopping you from actually just going and showing up, because we believe that some kind of standard needs to be met for us to like ourselves and be acceptable and accept ourselves. When we put that pressure on ourselves, it creates this tension. This tension then creates this kind of block. And it's our ego. It always comes back to that. It always comes back to our egos. Our egos are projecting that there needs to be this standard for us to reach, and then we can like ourselves. Then we are worthy. Then we can accept ourselves. But if the gap is too big, our brains make this efficiency calculation of it's not worth the energy. So we don't do anything. And then we look for distraction, doom scrolling. It's just easier. It doesn't trigger us. It doesn't evoke those uncomfortable feelings that we don't want to feel. Whereas all it really is this initial hump that we need to get over. Like for example, going to the gym, packing your bag, just getting out the door. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. But the actual act of doing it isn't uncomfortable. It's just that subtle feeling inside. So the key then is just to be aware of that. Start identifying that. You'll get better and better at identifying that. And you'll stop procrastinating. Eventually, you'll see that the goal isn't the outcome. It's the action itself. It's the flow of doing it. It's the joy of doing it. And then you start to build momentum with that. You start to gain that kind of evidence. You can forget sometimes. You can get sucked into this world of validation and comparison. I need to put my gains on Instagram to show everybody. And then you go into that. And your ego takes over and it distracts you. And then you think, okay, I can't quite do what I did yesterday. So there's no point in going to the gym. I'm not quite feeling myself today, so I can't go speak to that woman I want to approach. So there's that gap, that chasm that we're trying to reach. Whereas you are there already. You don't need to go. You don't need to reach that gap. You don't need to live up to that expectation. It's fine. That's what I'm saying here. You need to flip that. And that's where you focus on action. You focus on the action of doing. So that's how you overcome procrastination. A bit of a ramble there, I know, but maybe it resonates. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much if you're still watching. And yeah, see you in the next video. Go to this video here for this type of content. Peace.